On tier one, the maximum that you can make from an agent here at Real, $4,000. The maximum that you can make from an agent with eXp as of this recording is somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,000. What's going on, good people? It's your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor. This channel is all about one thing and one thing in particular, and that's helping you as an agent get better, get sharper, and get faster. And one of the ways that we talk about that, because of course, the majority of this channel is related to real estate strategy, how to help you get clients, how to help you just position yourself to earn income as a new or a veteran real estate agent. But today, I'm talking to my bosses. I'm talking to my team leads. So if you get value from this and you are, again, a broker owner, a team leader, someone who is really truly looking to at some point step away from production, you're tired of dealing with all of the complexities that go into owning a brokerage. I know here in the state of Georgia, the laws are changing very regularly for brokers and their requirements and all that. And some individuals, frankly, they're tired of it. Well, here at Real Brokerage, you are still able to operate through our private label program. If you just love your name, Joe Schmo Real Estate, you've got a team of 100 plus agents, and you do not want to necessarily give that up. Book a call with me by clicking the first pinned comment. I want to walk through how this revenue share model offered at Real Broker will be a complete game changer for you as a broker owner, team lead, mega team lead. I'd love to have that conversation and walk through those benefits. So sharing my screen here, I want you to see what is at least this is, I pulled this directly from eXp's website, what their current revenue share model is in its present iteration. So the current revenue share model, as I stated, is a 7-tier system where, depending on how many what they call frontline qualifying agents a particular person has, this is essentially what they could expect to, how it'd be laid out as far as what they can expect in income from said agent and agents that continue to join under them. This is directly from the eXp website, so this is the most current information. Under this current strategy that they have with the revenue share model, there's a $16,000 cap and an 80-20 split, I believe, is the breakdown with agents as far as the commission share. Now, if you wanted to read more about this in greater detail, you can literally just Google eXp revenue share model, and I'm happy to do a comparison on how Real's revenue share model is going to be more advantageous for the majority of agents compared to what's currently offered. One thing I wanted to talk about here on today's call is that the percentage that you can make at eXp of the individual's business that they write and the percentage that the company gets, it kind of decreases as you go down tiers until you get to the 7th tier. So at the 7th tier, this is where agents typically will make quite a bit of money, but they have to ensure that the agents that they bring on continue to bring on agents, and that's where they kind of make, you can make a lot of money at that 7th level down from that particular agent that you started and you brought on. But obviously at the top here and then the 2nd and 3rd level, and going down to the 4th level, that's really where you really don't make a lot of money. So assuming you're, a mega team or whatever the case is, it may be disadvantageous if you don't necessarily have a lot of agents in your middle tier until you get down to the 7th level, and that's where, again, that's where the most money is generated. So now I want to talk about Real's revenue share model, and one of the big reasons that I made the pivot and why so many other agents are making the pivot. It's next level. It really truly is next level, and I talk a lot, but I like to let other individuals that are really truly leading the pack. This is Sharon Srivatsa. I am in my Real Reason dashboard. This is our one-stop shop for all things that have to do with Real Brokerage. I literally can track my current transactions, listings. I can get signatures. I don't need DocuSign anymore, which is what I was using. And what I'm going to talk about in a future video is the wealth plan, which is literally the blueprint, pun intended, on how agents that I walk through the benefits of joining Real and the alignment of bringing their team over, their brokers, and how they can really truly build an incredible level of generational wealth. But it's all a one-stop shop in this Reason app. But I want to let our president talk quickly about what the revenue share model offered at Real is, and then I'll be right back.
different companies have figured out different ways to try and grow in this market, in this industry, but we've realized this one thing, that our best agents come from our best agents, and we wanted to put a program in place by sharing revenues with our agents who help us attract great new talent and great new agents to the firm, not just one time, but in an ongoing fashion. And we created the Reels revenue share program to support that. Now, the best part about this is that it is completely optional. You can participate in it if you would like, and you don't have to if you don't like. But the most important thing is it is available to you as and when you're interested in it and as and when you want to utilize it. The best part about this is that Real's revenue share program is grounded in math and in financial model, where Real turns around and pays its portion of its revenue back in revenue share. It does not touch the agent's portion in any way. And this allows us to be true partners with you in helping us attract, build, and grow this great company, because we know that our best agents come from our best agents, and we had to create a program to reward you for helping us grow this business. And that goes to the very heart of revenue share.
Love it, love it, love it. So here at Real, as the illustration explains, we have a five-tiered system. Essentially, that's your boy, your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor. And let's say hypothetically, there's an agent that really is interested in joining Real because conversations with me, the due diligence that they did, and the economics, of course, no monthly fees. You don't pay any fees whatsoever to the brokerage until you actually have a sale, which is game changing. And one of the big reasons why a lot of agents are leaving the business, because unfortunately, if they don't have a sale, you know, at some other brokerages, even others that have a revenue share model, you still have to pay into that brokerage whether you have a sale or not. And that can be quite problematic if you are struggling to get out the blocks, or you're in the middle of the current, interest rate environment that we're in right now, and it's just harder to do business as a real estate agent. But here with Real, we have a five-tiered system, and of course, the splits here at Real are game changing. It's 85-15. So the revenue share is paid to you as the attractor based on the 15% that Real Brokerage gets out of the 85-15. Now, in this current revenue share model, there are different tiers that get unlocked as more agents are influenced by you or the individuals that you influence to join Real. And everyone here has to be producing agents. So that's one of the separators between us and other places that offer this model, is that you have, unfortunately, at other places, you end up having a bunch of recruiters that don't do any business, and they're simply trying to just bring on as many agents as possible, and they themselves are not actively producing real estate. Now, of course, when you are ready to retire from the business, Real does offer a revenue share model that once you've been with the company several years, meaning that you've done transactions, several transactions, of course, during that time, then you will still earn income for the rest of your life for the work that you have done and put into the business. But unfortunately, because I was at eXp, and it was really truly, there were not all but some individuals, unfortunately, simply got their real estate license to become a recruiter, and that's ultimately what they spent the majority of their time doing, which can be great from a growth standpoint, but from a sustainability standpoint, that can be problematic if you don't have individuals that are actually there to produce and generate commission income for the company. So, assuming again your first level of tiers here, for your first 1 through 4 agents, everyone, of course, is part of the same $12,000 cap if they're joining as a solo agent. For your first tier of agents, you as the person that is attracting individuals can make up to $4,000 per agent. That's more than other places. And the second tier, again, 5 to 14 agents, you will get 4% of the portion that the company gets. So that would be up to 3,200. And then for tier 3, it would be up to 2,400, tier 4, 1,600, and then tier 5, 800. So as you see, it's beefier at the top compared to other places where you make more money the further down, but realistically, it's the majority of agents don't really necessarily focus on attraction in most brokerages that have a revenue share model. On tier 1, the maximum that you can make from an agent here at Real, $4,000. The maximum that you can make from an agent with eXp as of this recording is somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,000. So you can make $1,000 more. Tier two, and it's about the same. It's 3,200 with us and around 3,200 with EXP. And then tier three with us is slightly higher. It's about 2,400, where with tier three with EXP, it's around 2,000. And so as we get further and further down, it kind of evens out. But the most important aspect of your revenue share business is going to be the agents that you directly attract on. It's going to be your tier one, because with Real, you are going to make more money than any other place that's offering a revenue share model. So out of the gate, if you are a team lead, a boutique brokerage, of course, every agent that joins would essentially be part of your tier one. But let's assume that they have a friend or a colleague that's interested in joining Real, but not necessarily joining your team or joining your brand. They just want to join Real, and they were influenced by an individual in your tier one. Then that becomes how this thing snowballs into something not only sustainable and realistic, but practical at the same time. Now, the other cool thing about this company is that they do offer what's called co-sponsored revenue share. So at EXP, for example, you have to pick one person, and that one person is going to benefit from the work that you're doing for the entire time you remain with the company. Now, that might not be necessarily a bad thing, of course, if you are a person that is on a team and your team lead or your broker owner is your sponsor, for example. But let's say you are a solo agent. Let's say you're an individual that is in Florida, but you really like how an agent with Real in Texas is operating. Maybe they're a social media person, and they've done a lot of content related to agents joining Real, and you really like their vibe, you like how they get down. There's a lot of individuals that are influencers, but also producing agents. I'm an influencer on a very small scale, but I'm also a producing agent. So I have individuals that come to my YouTube channel and they say, "Hey, look, Marv, I like how you do things. I really want to join Real. I want you to benefit from this because you've given so much helpful information, but I also need someone ground level. Do you know anybody?" Now, typically, any other situation, I would have to suggest to that individual, if they're going to need ground level support out of state, I'd have to suggest to that individual that they strongly consider joining a team. Obviously, with the current way that the world is moving, teams may not be, ideal for an individual that is really truly just, they don't want to give up their money. They don't feel like a team is what they need. They just need individuals that they can lean on from time to time if they have questions, but they don't necessarily want to be subject to the obligations and requirements of a formal team. Well, the cool thing here is that I could still be your individual sponsor, for example, but most of the times I would suggest that they connect with a person that I know, like, and trust in their respective state, and I would simply co-sponsor with a local agent. That's going to do two things for you as a person joining Real. For one, it's going to ensure that you have a stronger chance of success because you have not just one individual, but you have two individuals that you can lean on, in addition to the brokerage, in addition to the trainings, in addition to your state brokerage team. But you have two individuals that are directly invested in your success as an agent. That's going to be powerful because, unfortunately for me, the sponsor that I chose, I didn't know what I didn't know until I joined the company, and I got into it. And I'm not going to get into bad mouthing sponsors. I know some individuals out here have gotten had horrible experiences with their sponsor, and in my case, it was an individual that was on social media. So I fell for the social media trap without actually doing my due diligence. And a lot of individuals, there are a lot of really big teams with these brokerages that you end up joining because you and naming that person as a sponsor because you saw them on YouTube, but you didn't necessarily know whether that individual really truly was going to help you. Many of these individuals, they might offer coaching and training and stuff like that, usually at a cost, but 9 times out of 10, you are not going to be anyone that they're going to really be able to give direct assistance with long term. It's just, especially the bigger that this influencer is. So that's the mistake that I made. And so when I actually joined with Real, I picked two sponsors for two very strategic reasons. And I love that because now, to use a Shark Tank analogy, it's always great when there are two sharks that go in on a deal and each shark brings their skill set to you, and it ultimately is going to benefit you as a person needing guidance from those individuals. So that's the powerful thing about it. And I didn't mean to get on a bit of a tangent about the co-sponsor benefit, but it's great because it's always ideal when you can have two choices instead of being pigeonholed into one choice. And that one choice, unfortunately, turns out to be bad, like it was for me and many other individuals. Now you got two individuals that really truly have to vie for your interest, with their, with their value add. Obviously, here with Real, we don't have cool kids clubs, we don't have silos, we don't have clicks, we don't have any of that. Okay, you join Real because you're joining Real and the support of an amazing brokerage, and everything that's a part of that, and everyone that's a part of that, you can lean on them with questions that you have. That's the cool thing. Our brokerage doesn't allow silos, and you get that benefit from day one. But having two individuals that would essentially be your direct sponsors essentially means that you just got two individuals that literally and truly have to make sure that they make themselves available to you as well to answer any questions, talk strategy, and essentially be an accountability partner. But that's the extent of their role in your life, and that's really all most of us truly need. So from an income standpoint, having two individuals that are a sponsor, the revenue share model here with Real allows essentially each sponsor that's part of the co-sponsoring of an agent to benefit. So it talks through this particular situation here, where agent number one receives a commission of $10,000. Of course, if it's an 85-15 split, the agent gets 8,500, Real gets 1,500. And the revenue share, if we follow the tree here, is paid out from the portion that Real gets. So that's awesome. So you basically are looking at it like you have individuals that are going to be ensuring your success, that you're not having to pay directly because they're going to be paid from the portion that Real gets. So in this situation, the sponsee would get 500, but let's say this person that sponsors agent number one has two co-sponsors. So if agent number, the sponsee, agent number two gets 500, then each co-sponsor gets about $180. That's on level two. Level three, agents that brought on the agent, that brought on the agent, that brought you on, would get $135 out of that transaction. And then level five would get, or level four would get roughly, each co-sponsored agent would get $90. And then on the fifth level, those co-sponsored agents would get roughly $45 from the sale. But you see how awesome it is that you essentially have more than one person that's really truly that you can lean on, that you can reach out to, because they're going to benefit. And the cool thing is that you will see every person that is your sponsor's contact information. And everyone here is so cool, y'all. They will literally pick up the phone to answer any questions that you have, or through email. And you've got just basically a huge family tree to lean on, versus an individual that you may or may not connect with, that you're joined at the hip with for your entire career. And if they leave the company for whatever reason, it's very unlikely that, if this was any other place, it's very unlikely that the individual that brought you on would know who you are. So that's something to be aware of when you have to choose one person. All right, so moving right along here. Here at Real, we do have a producing agent policy. And what that essentially means is we don't do any recruiters here at Real. Everyone here at Real has to, every 6 months, collect at least $450. And that can be through referrals, referral business, that can be through direct business that they produce. But you have to be in some level of production and earn at least $450 in splits or post cap fees every 6 months to be considered producing and able to get revenue share. So if you join in January, for example, by July, you have to do some level of business, or have to have done some level of business to equal $450, or all of the agents that you bring on, you will not be able to enjoy the revenue share income until you get a deal. So essentially, after the 6 months, you're locked out of revenue share, and it shows you how much revenue share you've missed if you hadn't done any business. And it can be very, very like, oh man, I got to get after it. And that's how you really want it to be. If you want to be a sustainable brokerage, is that everyone has to be producing. And so here at Real, they set the bar very low. Obviously, I mean, $450. I mean, that's nothing, but you have to close at least that amount in splits in order to continue to receive revenue share, or you're locked out until you have closed $450 in splits. Now, this is just talking through the agent cap. When an agent reaches their annual cap, they're considered automatically producing until the next anniversary. independent of how much they've made in the last 6 months. The 450 and 6 month split only applies to non-capped agents. So goes without saying, if you're capped, this doesn't apply to you. However, if the cap agent has not paid $450 in splits within 6 months prior to their anniversary reset date, they'll roll into the non-producing status. So goes without saying, even if you're capped, you still at some point have to have done business. Now, lastly, here talking about revenue share, here with Real, we do have an annual $175 revenue share participation fee that's deducted from your very first revenue share payment. So it's the cost of doing business. It's a nominal fee in my personal opinion, but it is a fee that you do pay that's deducted from the revenue share. So you don't get a bill or anything like that. It's deducted from the revenue share on your very first revenue share payment that an agent gets in a given year. And then in each subsequent payment, you are assessed a 1.2% processing fee. So $1.20 for every $100. That's not anything to concern yourself about. Okay. So that is pretty much that. I will stop sharing the screen here. I just wanted to walk through a little bit about how the revenue share model works here with Real Broker. It's pretty stellar when you look at it, especially for your tier one agents. And that's going to be the agents that are directly influenced to join Real through your, social media, your YouTube, your ground level marketing, all of that jazz. These are individuals that join the company because of you or you and a co-sponsor. So if you are that type of, you have that entrepreneurial mindset, you have a type of personality that you feel you literally are social butterfly, and you love this company so much that you want to tell others about why they should join Real. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about alignment. I'm a guy with 25 plus years of sales and marketing experience. You're watching this video as a testament, and many of you have joined Real through these videos, and I'm so grateful for that. But the work doesn't stop. I'm personally invested in the success of this brokerage, because ultimately, if I win, the company wins. If you win, I win. If I win, the company wins. It all feeds into a greater purpose, bigger than ourselves. And that is how we build a sustainable business that 20, 30, 40 years from now, when you and I are sitting on sitting in our living rooms enjoying a cup of coffee, that you help play a part in a business that is going to live past our lifetime. And that's an amazing thing. So book a call if you are interested in talking more about the revenue share model. If you'd like me to crunch the numbers specific to what you're making at your brokerage through your commissions, your fees, your splits, the revenue share or profit share that you're getting, if you're at one of those places that still pay profit share, let's have a conversation. Click the first pinned comment so we can run the numbers for you to see if it mathematically makes sense to pivot. And until the next video, this is your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor, signing off.